Twin suns scorched the crimson deserts of Virex 9, turning the dunes into waves of molten glass. Lightning crawled across the blood-red sky as Lieutenant Kael Maddox guided his small Terran scout ship through the turbulence. His mission was routine: retrieve a lost survey drone near Dominion territory and leave unnoticed. Routine missions kept soldiers alive. But something about the planet felt wrong tonight. Like the air itself trembled with warning. Kyle checked his rifle, sealed his helmet, and stepped onto the hostile world, unaware that by sunrise he would become the spark of an interstellar uprising. The storm carried more than sand. It carried a cry. Kael followed the sound over a ridge and found her half buried in ash. Violet skin, silver eyes, luminous markings flickering weakly. Dominion troopers were retreating to their transport, leaving her behind as if she were refuse. Contaminated. "Asset!" one barked. Kael's orders were clear: avoid contact. Instead, he ran toward her. She looked up in confusion as he lifted her gently. "Why help me?" she whispered. Kael's jaw tightened. "Because no one deserves to die alone." And with that choice, the galaxy shifted. Plasma bolts tore through the storm as Dominion forces realized what he had done. Kael carried the alien woman toward his ship while firing one-handed bursts behind him. She clung to his armor despite her injuries. "They will hunt you now," she warned. "Let them," he replied. Engines roared as his ship launched. Interceptors, screaming after them through twin sun glare. The chase ignited the sky in streaks of blue and red. Kyle flew low through canyon spires, daring gravity and death alike. He had saved her life. Now he would defend it. Inside the cockpit's dim glow, Kael removed her restraints and treated her wounds. "Lyra of House Seralith," she said softly. "Kael Maddox, Earth." She studied him as though humans were myth. Lyra revealed the Dominion's secret. Her people, the Aran, were hunted for their psychic resonance. Children taken, minds drained, entire houses erased. The Dominion claimed peace with Earth, but their treaties were lies hiding war crimes. Kael felt anger coil deep inside him. "Then we expose them," he said. Lyra met his gaze. "Or we end them." In that moment, alliance became something more. Lyra projected a stolen star map, revealing a Dominion black site station orbiting a dying star. "They keep the children here," she said. Kael didn't hesitate. "We go in." It was reckless. Two fugitives against an empire. But the psychic flicker between them had grown stronger, almost instinctive. She could sense his resolve. He could feel her fear and hope intertwining. "If we are caught, there will be no mercy," Lyra warned. Kael smirked slightly. "I'm not asking for mercy." They set course for the station, hearts already synchronized by fate. The station loomed like a blade against starlight. Kael docked beneath its sensor-blind spot. Inside, corridors echoed with metallic hum. Lyra closed her eyes, projecting subtle psychic pulses to scramble surveillance. Kael moved like a storm in armor. Efficient, silent. Guards fell before alarms could rise. Their movements began to align seamlessly. "Left," she whispered into his mind. He pivoted without question. Trust had formed faster than logic allowed. Together they were more than soldier and survivor. They were a weapon sharpened by injustice. They found the children in rows of stasis pods. Small Aran forms lay pale beneath glass, their luminous, markings dimmed. Lyra staggered in horror. Kael shattered the nearest pod, catching a trembling child as he collapsed forward. The boy clung to him instinctively. "Warm," the child murmured. Rage unlike anything Kael had known flooded his veins. "Stay behind me," he said, voice steady despite the fire inside. Alarms erupted. Dominion troops converged. Lyra picked up a fallen rifle, silver eyes blazing. "For our future," she said. Cornered in a sanctum chamber, Lyra initiated an ancient Aaron ritual. Symbols ignited around them in radiant arcs. "This will bind our minds," she warned. "You will feel everything I am." Kael stepped forward without hesitation. Energy wrapped them in brilliant light. Memories collided. Earth's oceans, her crystal forests, laughter not yet shared, their heartbeats synchronized. The psychic bond amplified her power and sharpened his instincts beyond human limits. When the glow faded, they stood breathless, hands entwined. They were no longer two fighters. They were one will. Admiral Vorthrax descended in obsidian armor, eyes gleaming with cruel amusement. "A human dares trespass," he sneered. "These children are resources." The small errand boy hid behind Kael's leg. Something primal ignited within him. He stepped forward, voice like thunder. "You touched a human son?" His grip tightened on his rifle. "Now the stars will burn for this." Lyra's power flared beside him, fueled by shared fury. Vorthrax laughed and unleashed plasma fire. The chamber erupted into chaos. Kael charged through plasma storms, armor scorched but unyielding. Lyra's psychic waves bent energy aside, guiding his strikes with impossible precision. They fought as a single entity, her foresight, his strength. Vorthrax's armor cracked beneath relentless assault. Kael drove him back toward the reactor core. "For every child you stole," he growled. Lyra unleashed a final blinding surge. The Admiral screamed as his armor shattered. Silence followed. Then the station began to collapse. Explosions tore through corridors as Kael gathered the freed children. Lyra shielded them with psychic barriers while guiding their path. Debris rained down. Seconds before total destruction, they launched from the hangar. The station erupted behind them in a newborn star of fire. The children stared at Kael in awe. Lyra rested her forehead against his. "You risked your species' peace." Kael looked at the rescued boy in his arms. "Peace built on silence isn't peace." Evidence of Dominion atrocities was broadcast across the sector. Worlds once silent erupted in outrage. The Dominion's lies unraveled. Humans demanded answers. Allies rallied to the Aaron cause. What began as one act of compassion ignited Interstellar. Rebellion. Kael watched the transmissions with quiet intensity. He hadn't planned to start a war. He had simply refused to walk away. Sometimes humanity's greatest weapon wasn't its fleets, but its refusal to abandon the vulnerable. They landed on a hidden Aaron sanctuary world where crystal forests shimmered beneath gentle starlight. The children ran freely for the first time. The small boy never left Kael's side. "He has chosen you," Lyra said softly. Kael knelt before him. "Guess that makes you my son." The child's markings glowed bright in agreement. Lyra's eyes filled with warmth. Family, she realized, was not bound by blood, but by courage and choice. Beneath alien constellations, Lyra faced Kael. Their psychic bond pulsed gently, steady as shared breath. "Our right is permanent," she said. Kael smiled. "Good." He brushed her cheek, tenderness replacing fury. They had faced empire and survived. Together. "Whatever future comes," he whispered, "we build it side by side." Lyra leaned into him, their foreheads touching. For the first time since her world burned, she felt hope. Months later, a new alliance formed between humanity and the Aaron. Trade routes reopened, fleets stood united, tyrants reconsidered their ambitions. Kael stood on a balcony overlooking crystal valleys, Lyra and their son beside him. The galaxy had learned something dangerous about humans. Harm one of theirs, or someone they claim as theirs, and they will move heaven and stars to answer. Love had sparked rebellion. Compassion had shattered an empire. and in the silence. Between constellations, a promise echoed forever: touch a human's child, and the stars will burn.